Today on the MrMaple Show podcast, Matt and Tim count down the top 50 reticulated Japanese maples.
Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple podcast, where we talk about Japanese maples and a lot of other fun plants. Guys, we got a fun one for you today, but first, if you like our podcast, make sure to subscribe and give us a 5-star on your favorite podcast platform. We'd greatly appreciate it. Also, check us out on YouTube under the MrMaple Show.
Yeah, we actually air one with a video component of this podcast following the next day after it airs on your favorite podcast platform. That's Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a live chat there. We can go get involved with our community as well. If you really like that community, check out our MrMaple Friends group on Facebook. We got a great community of people who love Japanese maples just like you do.
All right, guys, today we're talking about our favorite reticulated Japanese maples. There are a lot of them. I mean, there are a lot of great Japanese maples. There are a lot of great variegated ones. And there are a lot of great reticulated ones. Now, reticulated Japanese maples have that veining. They have that through line through like kind of the whole leaf. So you kind of get that little etching that etches out each little part of the leaf. Makes that variegation extra special. I haven't never seen a variegated reticulated Japanese maple revert too. So some different unique traits going on there. And these are things like the Ghost series. These are things like Reticulatum. These are things that are going to fit into that category. Big category. There's a lot in there. I mean, we're going to do the top 50.
Now, with that top 50, we did exclude the Shikatsuawa styles. I would often consider Shikatsuawa a reticulated Japanese maple. Doesn't really fit in the reticulated group. It's in like it's a Shikatsuawa group by itself. We recently did a top 20 podcast on the top 20 Shikatsuawa styles. So if you're into that style, you can go check out that podcast as well.
Or you can listen to them both and you like them all. All right, guys, let's get into it. We're going to go through some honorable mentions. There were some great ones. We're going to get into 50 of our favorites. We're going to do, the top, the first 25 today. Next podcast will be the top 25. You're going to want to stick around for the whole thing. There's some just incredible plants on this list. Couple honorable mentions, Holy Ghost.
Yeah, Holy Ghost. I love the name on it. It's got a good reticulated style. It's kind of creamy white with some green veins. It is a really cool reticulated style. Didn't fit into my top 50, but I love the name and I love the tree.
Next up, we had Koyuki, another one that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of got a snowflake-like leaf. Each leaf's a little bit different.
Yeah, and the rumor is, what I heard was that this was found by Fred Hook's brother. Now, Fred Hooks is the guy that really got popular Snow Kitten in the trade. And so sort of the same person who introduced Snow Kitten also introduced Koyuki. Really cool. The name means snowflake, and it's just got really intricate foliage with deep serrations on each and every leaf. Creamy white with green veining. All right, y'all. Now we're hitting the top 50 reticulated Japanese maples will have that ghost-like reticulation. And starting out at number 50, we got Aka Shikatsuawa.
One of the oldest. I mean, this one's on the 1700s list. It's been around for forever. It's got a little poetry that goes along with it. I believe it means cranes flying through the early morning red skies. I don't know exact Japanese, but I love the plant. It's got a lot going on. Not only does it have that reticulation to it, it's got some really nice reds. You'll see Aka often expressed in a bright red color. And this one goes through some creamy phases as well as some bright red phases.
I've seen a few people try to update this to say Benny Shikatsuawa, but Aka Shikatsuawa is the original name on this selection.
Well, I'll tell you where that come about, and hopefully we can add some clarity to that. We were at a get-together with Ed Shin's place back in the day, and Fred Hooks had one that he believed had previously been in the trade, and he couldn't find a name for it. So he decided to go with Benny Shikatsuawa as a name. It was a bit of a misnomer. And I think a lot of people saw Benny and assumed it was the same as Aka. So there's a lot of bad information out there from a lot of people.
And then some people...
So Benny Shikatsuawa was basically a completely different tree than Aka Shikatsuawa, but it had a lot of similarities to it. So he kind of named it close to it, which is more confusing sometimes than not.
And then someone said, hey, Benny is actually better for the actual color and the Japanese word in Aka Shikatsuawa than Aka is. And so some people started calling it Benny instead of Aka. But Aka is the original name. It's been out there for hundreds of years.
1700s list. Let's keep it the same way it was in the 1700s.
Now, Aka Shikatsuawa is a shorter reticulated style, and it has a sort of semi-pendulous nature to it where it sort of spreads out and arches as it grows. It's a semi-dwarf, typically reaching that 6 foot in height, maybe 6 foot in width in 10 years, and it's actually one of the parent trees to many members of the Ghost series.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to ask too. So most of the trees on our list, in fact, I think all of them on today's list are going to be zones 5 through 9 plants. So a lot of times you want to give reticulated forms a little morning sun, a little late day shade protection that'll kind of pick up the colors, that'll hold some of those incredible spring colors later into the season, but protect it from that hot afternoon sun. Guys, we got a Buckholz one in here at 49. We got the Tiger Rose. This is another just showstopper. I mean, the original one is next to Talon's old home. It's just beautiful, man. It really gets out there and looks amazing. Reticulation, very serrated leaves to this. I like how jagged it gets.
And I also like how the leaves are very elongated. They're not really rounded. They're more elongated on their foliage. It's got like this lime green color with deep green veins, which gives you that tiger-like appearance in its reticulated style variegation. Now, Tiger Rose has a really strong upright habit, slightly semi-pendulous, but mostly upright overall, creating a unique shape on a reticulated style, and it can give you some really nice yellows and oranges in the fall.
All right, coming in here at number 48, we got one that goes by a couple different names. We got Sweet Lucille, a.k.a. Skeleton's Reach. It was named for Lucille. People put the Sweet Lucille in there. She said she didn't like it being named after her, so changed it to Skeleton's Reach. Already got out there under Sweet Lucille, so it's got kind of a misnomer. I have to say I do like the Skeleton's Reach the most because it's one of the widest trees, and it's got a lot of reticulation going on there, so it kind of unfurls and looks like a skeleton reaching out of the ground at you in a small size.
Now, I heard Dan Himes of Terra Nova was actually the person who came up with the name of Skeleton's Reach. But Sweet Lucille, I mean, I think B.B. King. I think about going to the B.B. King concert out at the Biltmore Estate for the summer series and watching B.B. King play Lucille on his guitar. I mean, his guitar, Lucille, it's just classic blues. And that's what I think about with Sweet Lucille.
Great plant. Really colorful. One of the most lack of color, really, not really colorful. One of the most lack of color plants because you're going to get all white with etching. That's why that Skeleton's Reach almost fits it too, because it does look kind of like something that you may see in the Pirates of the Caribbean. I just took my kids to Disney. You may see that in the ride out there. It kind of has that skeletal look to it.
Now, all these trees we're talking about today, when we talk about reticulated, that's sort of the Latin name for this style of variegation. If you're into reticulated pythons, that may be something that you recognize instantly. But reticulated in a Japanese maple means that the veins of the leaf are one color and the rest of the leaf are another color, giving you a dynamic variegation in the foliage itself. And at number 47, we've got one that actually has that reticulated name in it. It's Reticulatum Purple. Now, this is one that can really get some nice kind of purple tipping to it, but with some strong, creamy, reticulated variegation.
Hey, shout out to you if you found this video accidentally looking for reticulated pythons and you made it this far in. You're awesome. All right. I love Reticulatum Purple. Really just next level. It's a softer purple. It's not like Purple Ghost. So first off, don't expect it to look like Purple Ghost. It's more of like a blushing of purple on a creamy tree. Really cool color. Really next level. And it's a little bit more lavendery than purple as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one that you don't find too frequently. We're going to have to be producing it more here at Mr. Maple. That 6 to 8 foot in height in 10 years. Protection from the hot afternoon sun for most of these reticulated styles will hold that reticulated variegation longer throughout the season. And so morning sun, afternoon shade, ideal conditions for any of these if you're just trying to get a blanket kind of platform for any of these. But there are some of these that are more heat tolerant than other ones.
All right, coming in here at number 46, we got Acer Pomatum MrMaple. Now, this is a Buckholz introduction that the minute I saw it, I said, I got to have that. One, because we're Mr. Maple, right? Wasn't quite married yet when I first saw this one, so Amy was like, hey, I'll be Miss Maple for you. Love it. Now we need Mrs. Maple. Now it needs MR. I mean, technically, Mrs. Maple's my mom. Mr. Maple's my dad. We're just the saplings here. But I love this plant, guys. It's got a lot of interesting colors to it. It's kind of a light green with pinkish new growth. Kind of gets this interesting color over on it. You can get a little of a bleached out effect and get some more yellowing, but I kind of like it in that lime green stage.
I know Miss Maple was one of the trees that when we gave Talon Buckholz's presentation, we gave a presentation to the Southern Nurserymen Association on our Japanese maple selections and our cool new neat introductions. And after we got done, Don Shadow said, Talon Buckholz couldn't make it. Why don't you give his talk as well? And handed us his slides and his presentation.
So we just had to go up there and wing it.
And
in front of a group of 350.
And Miss Maple was one of the few ones from his list of his introductions we didn't have at the moment.
Right.
And I mean, it was one of the trees I was always after because one, we're Mr. Maple, and I had to have Mrs. Maple. I had to have Miss Maple.
I think at that point, me and you might have still been in search of our Miss Maples.
Yeah, I know, right? So I mean, why not? And it's got a good upright habit and some good, strong reticulation. In the, you've got one at the corner of your porch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been one of those trees that's been shocking to me. You can get some cherry reds in the fall, which has been really, really choice.
I'm going to tell Amy she's got a nice upright habit. I love it, guys. Coming in here at number 45, we got Dark Ghost, another member of that New Ghost series. Dark Ghost, really dope. One of the darkest colors. So we go from Miss Maple, one of the lighter greens, to Dark Ghost, one of the darkest. I mean, this one's almost like jet black. It is one of the contenders for darkest reticulation.
And you get that deep, dark reticulation in there, that sort of purple ghost-like habit, but darker. And that's the thing that makes Dark Ghost special. It's one of the last members of the original Ghost series, and it came long after the original Ghost series. You had First Ghost, Purple Ghost, all those introduced in like the 1990s. Mm-hmm. And, maybe 92 to 96 is where most of the Ghost series got introduced. And then Dark Ghost was introduced,
not that long ago.
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Within the last 10, Talon will sit on stuff for a long time. I mean, it'll get out there like 1s and 2s, and then the floodgates will open up. So I don't think the floodgates opened up for a while on this one. I absolutely love it, though. I mean, dark reticulation, almost just the etchings. Almost you have to get it in your hand and look at it in the early spring to see the reticulation in it. But then it gets even more pronounced. Absolutely beautiful plant, nice upright in that 8 to 10 foot range. Really a showstopper. Bold red in the fall.
I like to take this and pair this with some of the lighter colored maples, like something like an Ukigumo or something like a Summer Gold or Golden Falls. Either that white color with Ukigumo or the yellows that you get contrast so well off of that darker foliage. So fun pairing there.
All right, guys, coming in here at number 44, we got the Ghost Dancer.
Now, Ghost Dancer has that ghost name in it, but it was an introduction by Talon Buckholz. Just like the Holy Ghost earlier wasn't a member introduction by Talon Buckholz, neither is Ghost Dancer. Ghost Dancer was a selection that was introduced by one of his neighbors. Around the same time he was introducing First Ghost. So while Talon doesn't include it in the Ghost series, he kind of says, it's an honorary member because it's got that ghost name in it, and it has that same reticulated style variegation. And First Ghost and Ghost Dancer were some of the first reticulated styles to get that ghost name put on them when they were getting introduced.
Yeah, this one's kind of ghost. It's kind of like the cousin to the Ghost series, so he kind of counts it. It kind of hangs out there with the original Ghost series. Really a great plant. And Talon kind of helped popularize this one too. I mean, I think he took it mainstream to the masses. So great plant. This one has a creamy center to it. You can get a little bit of a border kind of lightly to it early, but then it kind of keeps more of a creamy and a little bit of pink sometimes in it as well.
I mean, some of my favorite times are the summer new growth flushes, and you can get almost pure creamy white on some of the new growth flushes. And that to me is what really makes this tree stand out. And I have gotten some blue-green colors on it that are really interesting because you don't get blue-green out of many of the other reticulated styles. One of those trees, morning sun, afternoon shade is ideal. It has a fairly strong upright habit, so most of its branches are arching more upward and not as much of the semi-pendulous nature of something like First Ghost. All right, y'all, coming to number 43, we have Shikatsuawa, also known as Reticulatum.
Yeah, it kind of can fit with that Reticulatum series. I do stick with the original name, the Shikatsuawa. It's been around for a long time under that name, and just an absolutely beautiful tree.
Yeah, I mean, the name means snipe flying from the swamp in the morning, kind of like the Shikatsuawa we were talking about earlier. The difference is you don't get more of that pink color you get out of Shikatsuawa. On this one, you get more of a white color with strong lime green reticulated variegation.
All right, guys, coming here at number 42, we got Sawa Shidori.
Now, Sawa Shidori is an interesting reticulated style. And the reason I like it is because the leaf isn't serrated. It's more rounded. And so you get like this more blood good style leaf but a strong reticulated lime green on sort of creamy white reticulation.
So Sawa Shidori is an introduction from Japan, originated in the 80s. Now this one typically gets around 6 to 8 foot in that 10 years period. Just a great plant though, very, very durable, and does particularly well if you give it protection from the hot afternoon sun. It is one you want to protect from full sun exposure.
Now Sawa Shidori, like I mentioned earlier, the leaf is different than many of the other Shikatsuawa types, these reticulatum types that we're talking about today. And because of that, I think that this particular style could open the genetics for more interesting and different leaf shapes on many of your other, ghost-like Japanese maples. So I think the genetics of this one are really interesting just because its leaf is fairly different.
All right, coming in here, number 41, we got Black Hole.
Now, some people often said like Talon must have been thinking celestial when he started naming some of these because he named, Nebula, he named Black Hole, he later named Starry Skies. But Black Hole is a really nice reticulated style in that purple ghost-like fashion. Yeah,
this one's very multi-stemmed and short, typically around 6 foot. It does get a lot of branching down low, so expect this one to be very much multi-stemmed. One of the more multi-stemmed of any of the Ghost series types. So this one's in that new Ghost series. But yeah, consider this one very, very multi-stemmed, very dark foliage. Not as dark as like Dark Ghost. You're going to be able to see the reticulation in there. It gets a lot of lavender to it, so it kind of pushes that reticulation to the front.
Another distinguishing characteristic is something like Dark Ghost may be more upright, where Black Hole seems to be a little bit shorter and more multi-stemmed.
Great candidate for container gardening here. I mean, this one isn't as big. Looks great next to yellows. You can pair it with things like Summer Gold, obviously. They're going to be similar in shape as well to Black Hole. Great plant, though.
Coming up next, at number 40, we've got another member of the Ghost series. We've got Acer Pomatum, Baby Ghost.
It's kind of the OG Ghost series right here. We got the Baby Ghost. This one's bringing the red. It's another one that's smaller, typically around 6 foot, so a little smaller stature to it. I love the red shades you get on this one. It's kind of a soft pink red, smaller leaf overall. Baby Ghost, great looking plant, especially for the container garden. If you don't want something that's going to get a little bit too big, Baby Ghost might be your ghost.
Baby Ghost, the original one resides at Kubota Gardens. That's one of my favorite gardens of all time, and the fact that the original Baby Ghost is there, that just adds to how cool that gardens is. But Baby Ghost, it's got some light reticulation, good smaller ghost-like type. But the name Baby Ghost, I think that's probably the scariest name of any of the Ghost series.
Well, according to all horror films, babies are the scariest thing of all time. And you're about to find out why, because you're having a baby this fall. You're going to be terrified when you hear that baby yelling all night. You're going to be like, this is the scariest thing ever. All right, coming here at number 39, we've got Jubilee. Now, there is a couple different trees that have gotten into the trade under the name Jubilee. There's one that kind of looks like Crimson Carol that don't confuse with this one. This one's the reticulated form. This is a Talon Buchholz introduction. It's a member of the new Ghost. Crazy pink colors on this one. Talon named it Jubilee to let everybody know what a happy duty is.
Y'all, Jubilee, a little bit shorter member, almost like that Black Hole. It's got that shorter stature, more multi-stemmed, some sort of pink slash amber kind of colors. I mean, it's got some really nice colors on that new growth. Good, strong reticulated variegation. Appears to be pretty durable out there in your yard.
Yeah, I love it. Very interesting colors. Brian Rule jokes this one's got alien skin. I don't know how he knows what alien skin looks like. I gotta have to ask him about that. Jubilee, though, it is funky. I mean, I love the colors on it. I like the funky pink it has. I like the kind of creaminess going on. Some of the best pink in the early spring on any of the reticulated forms.
Now, coming at 38 is a personal favorite of mine. I love this next selection. This is Acer Pomatum Will's Divine.
Yeah, another one you get a bunch of crazy names on. I've seen this one as Will D. I've seen it as Elmwood. Will's Divine, probably the most correct name on it. We always try to go with the most correct nomenclature. This one goes through a ton of crazy changes. I mean, you get some weird shades on this that look photoshopped. It's a very unique reticulated form. I've had some years where it almost look brown, which is a weird color to brag about it being. I've had some crazy lime greens and almost bluish green shades in it. Some really next level colors.
Now, Will Divine is the same guy who found and introduced Divinely Blue. He was a propagator at Angelica Nurseries, and he was a plant just lover. I mean, he was one of these guys that just loved plants, always looking through different things. And this plant stands out. I mean, it is one of those colors that is just outrageous. From that sort of bluish kind of color it can get to the brown color it can get later with the reticulation is outrageous. With some like purple hues in the eye, I mean, next level reticulated Japanese maple.
Yeah, I think of the Joker, like the original Batman Joker. I think of like the Joker when I was a kid, and he has like the lime green and purple. I've had this one have a purple eye with lime green exterior to it, so the whole outside of the leaf is like a weird shade of green, and the eyes just got that purple going on. One of the other funky things about this tree is it goes through all its color changes. It also gets a pale yellow, like a really bright yellow in the winter. So very unique, very heavily matsamuried. So you get a very divided leaf here, extremely divided, almost lace leaf-like in how divided this leaf is.
Now, speaking of lace leaves, at number 37, we do have a lace leaf reticulated style. At number 37, we've got Acer Pomatum dissectum filigree, also known as green filigree, also known as Susei.
Yeah, there's a lot of those out there. We try to clear them up, so you guys can hear it here that we've done the evaluations. Susei hailing from Japan, filigree and green filigree, all the same thing going on there. I love filigree, guys. That's kind of the first name I saw it under. That's how we got it originally. You get this weird reticulation going on it because of the lace leaf. If you want to give this some late day shade, it's a bright picked up green, but then if you look at it, especially in some shade, you get this flaking going on early, and then it starts to get even more reticulated as it gets more in leaf. So you start to get this green veining throughout every single leaf. It's still prominent in the golden yellow fall color, so you get great yellow fall color. Filigree, one of the smallest lace leaves as well. I mean, this one's tiny, typically 2 to 3 feet tall, and have a 5 foot wide one that may be 25 years old at our house, at our parents' house. Absolutely extravagant. I love it whether it's spring or fall. We have it up next to the porch, so it kind of protects it, so you really get to see all that interesting reticulation.
Now, J.D. Veritrees describes this one as having yellow or white flecking in the leaf. And what he's basically saying there is it has ghost-like variegation on the interior part of the leaf.
So you're telling me he came up with your sprinkles analogy?
Y'all, I think you said it was sparkles before.
Sparkles and
now
sprinkles.
You turned it into sprinkles.
I did take my kids a sweet frog at lunch, so maybe that's where I got the sprinkles in there.
But filigree is highly prized by collectors still, just like Veritrees says in his book. They're still prized today because it's a small growing lace leaf. It's one of the very few reticulated styles that has that weeping habit. And if you give this tree some protection from the hot afternoon sun, this is a beautiful, small tree. Great for those small places or great for containers.
All right, guys, coming in here at number 36 on our best reticulated Japanese maples list, we got the Phantom Flame. Now, this one's going to share some similarities with First Ghost for sure, but it has an even darker, wider purple border. So this one gets a lot of that Tsumagaki-like fingernail border to it in the early spring. So reticulation, creamy and white on the inside, thick purple border going on. I mean, thick.
I think Phantom Flame would have been higher on my list if it could handle sun as good as First Ghost. And then that's my one like thing against it is it needs more protection from the hot afternoon sun than some of the other ghost-like selections. It's got a nice semi-pendulous habit like First Ghost, but the border on the edge is really thick and it's extremely showy. So, I mean, when you're talking about one that's beautiful, Phantom Flame rocks it out with its beauty.
Yeah, typically around 6 to 8 foot in 10 years. Tends to be a little multi-stem for us as well. I like that about it. All right, y'all, coming here at number 35, I got another lace leaf for you. Maybe some of our newer customers don't know about. We got Acer Pomatum dissectum Felis.
This is in the springtime. This one can have some really strong reticulation, and the sunlight can sometimes bring out the reticulation on Felis. I mean, it's light, but it's there, and it's got that intricate foliage that you see with green filigree or filigree.
So I use this term all the time, like Ed Shin come up with blush and beauty. But this one's a green, but it does blush some pink in the early spring. Like you'll look at the whole tree and you'll think it's pink. Like it does come through with some pink hues for sure.
And the leaf themselves is so intricate on the lace leaf. And that's the thing I love about Felis, and I also love about filigree, is that the leaves themselves have so many serrations on the lobes and on the sublobes that it looks more intricate and ornate than many of your other lace leaves.
This one's also a tiny one. I mean, it's similar to filigree. It's very small growing, maybe 3 feet tall in 10, 15 years. Not uncommon to be 4 or 5 foot wide, but just tiny. I mean, it's not one that's going to get big in the landscape, which makes it great for container gardening. So if you want to put this one in a big planter, you can kind of play around with the sun exposure on it. If you give it some early morning sun, late day shade, typically that's when you get your best pink hues that kind of set it apart from filigree, I find. Introduction by Esfeld Plantinium, one of Core's daughters there, named Felis.
Y'all, coming at number 34, we've got another Talon Buckholz introduction. You should know there should be a lot of Talon introductions on this list because he's introduced so many of those reticulated styles.
And we're just playing the home crowd. I mean, we own Buckholz Nursery, so we juice up his trees more. We elevate their status, and we say, these are the best ones. These other ones are terrible. No, we mix the list up.
Y'all, coming at number 34, we've got Acer Pomatum Blonde Beauty.
Talon would accuse us of doing the opposite. He'd be like, that should have been top 4. What are you doing? I'll have to answer to each one of these that didn't make the top 25.
Yeah, and Blonde Beauty is really awesome. You know, we introduced Acer Olive Random Hot Blonde. Talon was also thinking about some blondes, apparently, when he named Acer Pomatum Blonde
His wife's
Beauty.
not blonde, though. You might get in trouble on that one. I didn't. My wife was blonde when I named Blonde Beauty. This one is amazing, guys. Blonde Beauty, I almost wish that he would have called this one, there's a Conifer Golden Ghost, but I almost wish it was Yellow Ghost or Golden Ghost, because had this been part of the original Ghost series, I think people would have freaked out. Like, there's not a yellow reticulated one like this. Like, it's more special than people realize. Like, I think it gets downplayed a little bit. It certainly can get a little bit more green midsummer, but this thing's yellow in the spring. Like, it has yellow, and it kind of glows a little bit. It gets to a golden hue to it. Absolutely next level. Pairs so well with all the new Ghosts because there's a lot of dark ones in there. So if you're putting this next to something like that dark Ghost, some of those are really going to stand out amazing next to Blonde Beauty.
And Blonde Beauty, if you push it out in a little bit of sunlight, it actually gets that bleached out effect almost like Orange Dream gets. So you get that blonde highlight on Blonde Beauty, which is really cool to get on a tree out there in the landscape and garden. It's got some really good cherry red fall color as well. So it's an amazing fall color in this reticulated style.
All right, guys, coming here at number 33, the Scottie Pippen spot, we got Ariadne.
Now, Ariadne is a selection by Cor Van Gelderen at Esveld Nursery, named after one of his daughters.
I believe it means the goddess of the labyrinth.
Yeah, I asked him when we were out to dinner one time, and I said, "Now you introduced Ariadne. Did you name that after the Greek goddess of the maze?"
Because it has all this intricate mazes going on.
That's what our description said at the time.
It fits it.
It fits it. It fits it so well. And he's like, "Nope, that's my daughter."
It's weird. It's kind of like the Chilipo Arboretum guy being named Punkill, and it means a soft blowing wind, but that has nothing to do with it looking great and like a soft blowing wind. The slender low, like it's just kind of serendipitous that it fits out. But I love Ariadne. Another one that's kind of underrated. I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten about this one or skipped over it. And much like Will D, it's got a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, when you see new growth flushes during the summer, they're a nice coral pink. The foliage itself on that leaf is heavily serrated. It's one of the more serrated and thick serrations on each lobe and sublobe. And again, this is one I think would be interesting to look through seedlings to increase what you're finding on the actual foliage of many of these ghost-like reticulated Japanese maples.
When I get the land, I'm planting all these out in the Enchanted Ghost Garden. It's just gonna be all reticulated, like an entire acre of just reticulated Ghost series type plants. All the top 50 can be involved. It'll be just the ghostly garden.
You can have a haunted forest in Halloween. People come through
the enchanted forest.
Enjoy the Ghost series.
All right, guys, coming in here next, we got a Ghost series member. We got the Uncle Ghost.
Now, Uncle Ghost is a good mid-sized upright, typically in that 6 to 8 foot in height in 10 years. It's got a really nice semi-pendulous habit to it too, so it gets a lot of lateral growth and slightly cascading on the edges. But you can get some really nice sort of pink purple colors on Uncle Ghost that you don't get on the other styles, and some good veining on that reticulation.
Yeah, another one's going to be a kind of a pink red, smaller leaves to it. Bit of an irregular shape to Uncle Ghost too. It's not one that's going to be your typical like amber ghost structure. Like it's a little bit more irregular. So this one kind of grows in kind of a more funky design, more compact, and a little bit more, I would say, in all directions at once. Like it isn't as uniform of a shape.
Now, guys, coming to number 31, we've got an introduction from us here at our Area 51 collection. And this is one that has some really nice serrations to the leaf, kind of like Ariadne. I mean, I'd say that's his closest thing on the leaf. We're talking about Strawberry Fields.
Yeah, this is a seedling found by Jonathan Savlich. It was sent to us the same time as Magic Moon. He sent us these to evaluate. Same guy who introduced Lillian's Jewel sent us both these to kind of name and evaluate. Love Strawberry Fields. I mean, I probably listened to more music from before I was born than music after I was born. And that's kind of crazy because I'm 43 now. But I probably listen to more older music than I do stuff from my generation. I was visiting New York and walked through the John Lennon Memorial there. Big Beatles fan. and Strawberry Fields kind of came out of that thought pattern of like that strawberry color. This one kind of reminds me of strawberries. Like, we'll throw Strawberry Fields on it.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of strawberry color in the early spring is really nice. And then in the summer when it's kind of creamy, it's just got this unique, strong reticulated variegation. It's got a good upright structure as well. Amazing. I like that one. That just stands out to me. Coming to number 30, we've got one of the newer selections on this list so far, and it's by the same guy who found Phantom Flame. We've got Acer Pomatum Spring Blast.
I'm really liking this one. Now, this one is another one. Reminds me a little bit of Phantom Flame because it's a heavy border. Where Phantom Flame is a dark purple border, this one's kind of a pink-red border. Like, I kind of like how pink-red it is. It's really been popular with collectors. It's got a lot of kind of green veining inside of it, but again, a pinker border going on.
Now, it has a little more of an upright habit and it appears to be a little more vigorous than Phantom Flame. You know, I haven't grown it out in full sun to be able to see here in Western North Carolina how it can handle that situation. So that jury's still out on that. But the colors are amazing, and the vigor and the upright habit really stands out to me.
I love it. All right, coming in here at number 29. We're moving along well here. We got the Sister Ghost, y'all. Another one of the OG Ghost series. Very popular, highly sought after. We do sell out of it every single year. It's always in our top, what are we up to? Top 100 of the sales now at MrMaple when we do that podcast. Sister Ghost always does pretty good on that.
Yeah, I mean, Sister Ghost is a really nice dark green reticulation to lime green with creamy white leaf. It's got an amazing shape too. I mean, it's semi-pendulous, but it's got an overall upright shape. It's beautiful in anybody's landscape. Morning sun, afternoon shade will hold that reticulation longer throughout the season and give you the best definition of that reticulation. But how cool is this list when we got down to 29 and we're at Sister Ghost?
Yeah, it's a good list. I love these plants. They're fun. It's springtime. Here's a new one that probably our customers know about, but if you're new to us through the podcast, you might not. One by my friend Angel. At number 28, we've got Ruby Day Sophia. Now, this one is a soft white reticulation, but guys, what I love about it is the structure of the tree. It's a very irregular, corkscrew, interesting, contorted plant. Like, it doesn't grow in the irregular shape you think of, especially for a reticulated plant. This one is, I know two of these look exactly the same. They kind of just get out there and make their own shape. They kind of spread out. They kind of spiral out a little bit. Absolutely love Ruby Day Sophia. That lower structure means it tends to be more multi-stemmed, keeps a little bit smaller, typically around 6 foot in 10 years.
Now, Ruby de Sophia, that is Spanish for Sophia's ruby. And I think that's too because this tree can give you some really nice ruby red fall color with that sort of pink kind of amber new growth. It's pretty awesome as well. The original tree had knuckles where it almost just sort of twisted and contorted and made it an interesting shape. And the overall shape is kind of rounded. So, I mean, really awesome newer introduction that has a unique shape, but is also reticulated.
Man, I love the structure. That fall color, though, super underrated. I've had it be bold red at times. Could be one of the front runners for best fall color on this list.
Now, guys, coming at number 27, we've got an introduction by our good friend Bart Eichmann's. We've got Acer Pomatum Red Sparkler.
Now, we just talked about fall color, and this one's green in the spring. Where it gets that sparkler redness is in the fall, because this one really plugs in. It really lights up in the fall months. It's a reticulated form that you can still see heavily influenced. You can see the reticulation influence on it when it's in fall color.
It's got a good upright habit. We've been growing this tree for years. I think it recently just got that name Red Sparkler on it. We had it for years under the name just Eichmann's because it was a code name because we got it from Bart and we really wanted
People bought it here at Open House as Eichmann's. So if you bought Eichmann's from us before, it's now called Red Sparkler.
And we're working on getting that tree up in more numbers here at MrMaple. Now, guys, we're all the way down to 26, our last one for the podcast today. And next week, we're going to be doing numbers 25 through number 1 here on the podcast. Same time, same channel. Guys, number 26, we've got Acer Pomatum Grandma Ghost.
All right, this is morbid, but I have to laugh when people call the office and ask for a memory tree and they pick Grandma Ghost. So I've had all that happen more than once. I love the plant. Maybe Grandma had a good sense of humor too, because that's a little weird. But I love Grandma Ghost, one of the OG members of the Ghost series, and it's so next level.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit larger leaf, and it's very prominent. It's got a good upright and it's like that upright semi-pendulous habit, so it kind of spreads out as it goes upward.
It's one of the most weeping on this list. Like, even for an upright tree, it kind of reminds you a little bit of a Moriyama.
It does. And it's got a shape that's definitely more cascading than something like Sister Ghost. But again, the overall shape is more upright. It's interesting. It's different. And it's one of those members of the original Ghost series by Talon Buchholz.
Guys, I hope you enjoy talking about Japanese maples. That's what we do here on the only Japanese maple talk show that comes to you weekly. We're kind of obsessed. We're kind of obsessed. And if you're obsessed too, definitely join us by subscribing here. And we'd really appreciate it if you supported our sponsor. That's MrMaple.com.
You know, I hear those guys got a lot of Japanese maples online, and they can ship directly to your door.
They ship anywhere in the United States, and they add new trees every Tuesday and Thursday to their website. So something's always new is coming back to MrMaple.com.
Y'all, thanks so much for jumping in today. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.